Hello again and welcome to my world. I am Dominic Santora. And before I get to what I have to say off my chest, I have to say this. Screw the neo-Nazis, screw the KKK, screw the alt-right. As well, screw Antifa, screw Black Lives Matter, screw radical feminism, and all you other social justice warriors. Every group I just mentioned are the lowest common denominator that humanity has to offer. I despise these groups. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more group I forgot about. The mainstream media. And that includes Fox News. The mainstream media are not telling the whole story about Charlottesville. And why am I not surprised? This is deja vu all over again. Let's go back a few months to Berkeley, where the mayor, a Democrat, ordered the police to stand down, allowing Antifa to wreak havoc and prevent conservatives as Milo Yiannopoulos and Ann Coulter from speaking at UC Berkeley, even though they were invited to speak. In Charlottesville, we have a mayor who is a Democrat, basically ordering police out of the area, and brought in the state troopers to close down a legal gathering and protest. They got permits to hold this event or rally or protest, whatever you want to call it. They received permits months ago. Everyone knew they were coming, including Antifa. And everybody knows Antifa is not interested in free speech. They are not interested in holding any kind of civil dialogue. They are only interested in one thing, and that's the death of America and everything that it stands for. Antifa does not come in peace, and everybody knows this, including the mainstream media. 99% of the time, when a riot breaks out, Antifa is in the middle of it, and they throw the first punch. 99% of the time. And the KKK and neo-Nazis and alt-right knew that Antifa was coming. You had all the tinder, and the Virginia State Troopers doused it with gasoline and put a match to it. What happened in Charlottesville was a setup. The state troopers came in and declared the protest unlawful. Even though they had the permits and the legal right to be there, the state troopers declared the rally unlawful and ordered them to disperse. And then corralled them right into the hands of Antifa and Black Lives Matter to be assaulted. And the mainstream media, including Fox News, are calling Antifa and Black Lives Matter counter-protesters. These were not counter-protesters. This was Antifa. And they will say there were others peacefully counter-protesting. And that wasn't the case on the other side? No, they were all Nazis. Bullshit. We have such a deep disdain, and rightly so, of Nazism. Like I said, screw the Nazis. They are scum. But our disdain for Nazism causes us to narrow our vision, tunnel vision, focusing in on one thing and negating the broader picture. And the mainstream media, they play on these emotions, on these feelings that people have towards Nazism. They take it right to the bank. So when President Trump says both sides are to blame, even though he's right, we reject it. Because we're so fixed on the Nazis and our disdain for them, that we forget about our disdain for the likes of Antifa. All of a sudden, Antifa isn't so bad, when they're just as evil as the Nazis. And now we have other cities and towns canceling conservative rallies because they don't want another Charlottesville. Why am I not surprised? Is that not the plan all along? Shut down conservatism? Who's pulling the strings here of all these puppets performing before us? The mayor? The chief of police? The DNC? George Soros? Who is pulling the strings? And just like Trump said, actually, I heard this first on Fox News. I think it was Laura Ingraham, who said, where do we draw the line? Are we going to start taking down statues of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson because they owned slaves? And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, slavery is a smokescreen. Yes, there is still a lot of resentment out there over slavery as well other past atrocities. But our disdain for slavery is very selective. It's only towards white people. Nobody says shit about Muhammad, who had slaves, as well traded in slaves. I hear leftists complain all the time about how America was stolen from the Native Americans. But they enslaved each other, as well introduced the world to tobacco, which is the cause of millions of people dying each year. Yet nobody says shit about that. Or about slavery that goes on to this very day, mostly in Islamic countries. And I can't remember the last time I saw a story on the mainstream media about the sex slave industry. Nobody says shit about that. And now we have a black pastor in Chicago who wants to rename Washington Park and Jackson Park, as well take down a statue of George Washington because Washington had slaves and the statue offends him. Yet he's a preacher who reads from a book that does not condemn slavery, with a Lord and Savior who tells you to be kind to your slaves. This has nothing to do with slavery and everything to do with the destruction of American society and replacing democracy with a communist dictatorship. Slavery is a smokescreen, and a very thin smokescreen, because people are seeing right through it. Anyway, that's about it for now. Thanks for stopping by and for tuning in. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until we talk again, I want you all to be well and enjoy life.